if you're somebody whose brain's been hijacked, having a banana or an apple alone is not your best strike. You want to combine that with maybe some cottage cheese or some unsweetened, not sweetened with 0-calorie sweeteners, Greek yogurt. And so that you're mixing and you're allowing that brain to heal. All right, coming down from that desensitized dopamine, reaction.
Hi, welcome to the Judy Terrell Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize every body 50, 60, 70, and above.
Hi friends, welcome to Your Second 50, where I take health science and turn it into powerful, personal, and practical information. I'm Judy Terrell, and today we're going to talk about how nutrition and neuroscience come together on a topic that's very relative to probably your everyday life. How is this consolidated sweet taste corrupting our brain chemistry and leading to craving, addiction, and weight gain? Okay, everybody, let's jump right in. So let's start up here at the brain. When we eat, especially highly consolidated sugar and sweet tasting things, we get this dopamine spill in our brain. And that is why we crave foods when we're feeling stressed and, tired. And it makes us feel really good. All right. But here's the thing. Could it be that we are eating way too much of this consolidated sweet flavor, not just from added sugars in our food, but also from the sweet taste that comes from what we might think is healthy and good for us alternative sweeteners like monk fruit and stevia? So let's talk about how this sweet taste can hijack our brains, right? The way it works is this. When we eat very consolidated sweet flavor, calorie or not, it lights up the dopamine receptor of our brain. And what happens over time, though, is that just like cocaine and caffeine and nicotine, once you're starting to use those things on a regular basis, the same amount doesn't bring that same pleasure. So then you need more of it and you need more consolidated amounts. And before you know it, you're getting into a more addictive and craving kind of situation on a day-to-day basis. And this can happen when you're eating foods that you think are really healthy for you and that have weight loss benefits because they have no calories and no added sugars. So for instance, stevia sweetened things and monk fruit sweetened things, sorbitol, xylitol, your protein powder that you think is so good for your body, and arguably it can be argued that it is. However, if it's got a sweet taste or you're adding it with a consolidated sweet, then you are now maybe getting good things for your muscle and your musculoskeletal health, but not such great things for your brain health. And it is causing a hijacking of our cravings, and then you start wanting to eat, you get hungry and you want to eat in between, and that's going to cause some weight gain. All right, so that's dopamine receptors. They are getting hijacked by too consolidated and too frequent eating of not just the sugar, but also the sweet taste in general. Now, that's not where it stops though, because dopamine, as you get dopamine resistance, is going to go hand in hand with leptin resistance. Okay, so what's leptin? Leptin is the hormone produced by our fat cells that tells us, you know what, you're getting satisfied, we have enough calories now and you can stop eating. But when your dopamine receptors are getting hijacked, so is your leptin receptors. And so now the leptin, which is supposed to tell you, okay, you're getting full, slow down, stop eating, you're getting resistance in your brainstem to the leptin as well. So now you need more and more of that dopamine producing sweet taste. And as you're getting more and more of it and craving it, the receptors, the hormones and the receptor sites for the leptin that tell you to stop, you're getting full, are also resistant.
When you have tried all the programs and done all the right things, and yet you still can't lose the weight that you're trying to lose, and you're a male or female over 50, now is the time for you to look into my program, Your Second 50.life. It includes online video support. You can download video and PDFs for an eating plan and exercise plan appropriate for over 50. It includes group support on a monthly basis, and perhaps even more importantly, it includes weekly individualized coaching specific to you. Having the generalized plan is a good thing. I have helped literally thousands of people to lose weight over the 43 years I've been in practice, and I'd like you to help you too.
And you're not getting the satisfaction hormones. So now you got a double whammy. You're craving more and more of these sweet flavors, and if you're taking them from more and more of the calorie-free ones, but still that sweet taste, then you're also getting some corruption to the leptin receptors, and this is a tsunami of bad information to your brain. All right. So, and many of my clients will blame themselves. Oh, I must have a death wish. What's wrong with me? I know what to do. But at the same, like what I point out to them is, you're literally having your brain is now ill. It's not well. It's not getting the right messages to help you to then, keep to a intake that's appropriate for your calorie intake for your weight loss or your optimal health. All right, so there's the scenario. And I just was in Vietnam and came back to America, and I came back with new eyes because, interestingly, our American culture and our food manufacturing is so corrupted to creating this dopamine leptin resistance. It is so in my face, having been out of the country. And, Vietnamese are not importing as many of the Western foods yet, like other countries, over in Europe and in Asia. So it's just a matter of time maybe for them, but we can learn from them. So now I'm to, what do we do about this, right? So how do we heal our brains from this, hijacking? So the first thing is we need to be aware of how these, that sweet taste, not just added sugars and calories, but sweet taste is causing this corruption, and we need to back out of it. So now, like, instead of having, the TikTok viral sweetened protein powder cottage cheese muffin for breakfast, or a protein drink that's sweet flavored, so it's like a milkshake, instead of having that, back off those and have scrambled eggs with some beans and some guacamole. All right? We want to kind of move back and allow our brains to become resensitized to a sweet taste, so that now a sweet potato or carrots actually taste really sweet to us and will give us that satiety we're looking for, versus having to have more and more of, a sugar-free product, or more and more of products that have high levels of added sugars that you don't even realize, like condiments, for instance. All right, so we need to back out of these hyper sweet tastes, whether they be calories or sugar-free or calorie-free, and get a bit, heal our brains. All right, another hack is never have just a sweet alone, even if it's a natural sweet, like fruit, for instance. If you're somebody whose brain's been hijacked, having a banana or an apple alone is not your best strike. You want to combine that with maybe some cottage cheese or some unsweetened, not sweetened with 0-calorie sweeteners, Greek yogurt, and so that you're mixing and you're allowing that brain to heal. All right, coming down from that desensitized dopamine, reaction. You want to also combine and choose your sweets if they are naturally sweet foods, like I said, sweet potatoes or winter squashes, and then always combine them with a fiber. So you're going to have them with another vegetable source in a meal, or cut those up and then mix them into a salad if it's the summer, or a stir fry in the winter, and then add protein to it. So now you are desensitizing your brain for this hyper, dopamine and leptin resistance. All right, so those are my biggies. Oh, and I know one other thing. We all deserve to feel really good in our bodies, right? And so we want to have these dopamine spilling, brain reactions, because they make life worthwhile. But there are other options besides consumption for getting that dopamine spill. So for instance, listening to music, or queuing up a comedy show, or going to a comedy show where you're laughing, being out in the sunlight, being in nature, connecting with other people that you are inspired and feel satisfied to be in their presence. All these things also spike dopamine, but without such a high reaction that you are now getting a dopamine resistance from consumption, and then having that have downstream problems with health issues and weight regulation. All right, everybody, if you would like help with this, please click on my community, Your Second 50, and join. I have individualized as well as group help in that subscription platform for all things, not just sugar cravings, all things related to health and optimization when you're over 50. All right, everybody. So see you soon in another video. And in the meantime, be kind to your brain, and I'll see you again soon.
And if you'd like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judyterrell.com.